Hi, this is the voice of Heidie Calero with another economic capsule on the Puerto Rico economy. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube so that you can also receive notifications regarding our news and our economic analysis. Today we are going to talk about the pandemic of Covid-19 and how stock markets react. Definitely this is not the first time that we've seen pandemias, but certainly for those who are weak at heart, I do not recommend you watching the news because you might have a heart attack. At any rate, we know that the stock market will sometimes advance in the future, what's going to happen, and it does read it correctly, but other times it does not read it correctly. We still don't know, but at any rate, I just wanted to show you what has been happening, at least yesterday, with the Dow Jones and the S&P. And this graph that I have here, this is from June the 5th through yesterday, when the Dow Jones, the industrial average, fell almost 6%, 1,861 points, and people were watching second by second what was happening. The market was reacting to the news that the US economy is opening and that there are going to be new infections and new deaths increased in terms of COVID-19. So watch out for this. The S&P 500, a more select group of companies, went down 188 points. Again, notice the trend, more or less stable, and then the big decline, the big jump. And the third graph that I'm depicting here is the relationship of the pandemic together with the S&P. This is, with the S&P 500, the index. That's the correlation between what was happening in the S&P with three major events. The Great Depression of the 1929-1930s, that's the blue line. The gold line is the Great Recession of December 2007 through June 2009, and this black one is COVID-19. The index starts here with this vertical line. It's a few days before the pandemic starts, and then a few days afterwards to see how the trend behaved. And notice here that COVID-19, in comparison with the Great Recession, the Depression of the 1930s, is worse. It's worse. It's higher in terms of the S&P, and compared to the Great Recession, it was not as bad. But right now, COVID-19, especially with yesterday's decline of 6% in the Dow Jones, the S&P fell in this index 81.8, regarding to, remember, before it starts is 100. So we are down, according to this index, almost 19%. So COVID-19 has really created havoc. Is this the first pandemic? Of course not. And we did some research regarding some of these pandemics, and some of them that we know, at least in Puerto Rico. In 1855, it was cholera in the municipality of Nahuabo. Then we had the hurricane San Ciriaco, and that caused a lot of anemia, and from 1898 through 1900, and then in 1900, again, people were saying, well, you know, the hillbilly, the jíbaro, Puerto Rico, was lazy. No, it was not lazy. Lazy. It was just that he had all this germ which caused anemia, and of course, with anemia, you do not have the strength to work. Then in 1916, we have dengue, again, moved by this mosquito. In 1917, we had the sarampion, the measles, and then we had in 1918 the pandemia of the gripe española, as it is called in Spanish, with pneumonia. The quarantine, which has been one of the measures to isolate people who are either with the Black Death, as we know, in the 18th century, or even the 15th century, was one of the measures that was used. Well, it goes back to Italy when it started back in the 14th century, and with the Black Death in the 17th century, it became more and more popular. We had in Philadelphia in the US with the yellow fever, 1793. We had with the the SARS in 1918, the Gripe Española. We had in 1988 with this Spanish flu. You know how many people died? 50 million people. We have not yet seen that with COVID-19. We then had Ebola in 2014. We saw after the First World War, 1914, especially US soldiers coming back to the States with syphilis and gonorrhea, venereal diseases. And in 1967, we saw AIDS. And now we have the pandemic of COVID. What does that tell us? Well, throughout history, even if we had less resources, humanity, people learn. We are constantly changing, evolving, but what it's important now is for us to learn that COVID-19 will get over it, but we do need to be very careful regarding testing, regarding tracking, regarding how the safety measures that we have been told. We will get over it, but meantime, the economy is suffering, and even if there's one death, it's one death too many. So stay safe, and we'll keep you informed in our next economic capsule. Thank you.